Hello everyone, it's Annette Green here. I am working in my 2024 weekly memory keeping planner. Every month, at the end of the month, I do a planner page video, and every week I do just a general crafting video. So welcome. So each page in my planner is 1 week's worth of memories, and here we are all the way in the back here at week 26. And this is going to be a two-part video this time because what I'm going to do is something I've never done before. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you a redo of last week's page. If you're in my weekly memory keeping with Annette Facebook page, you've seen this page and a lot of nice comments were given, but it has been bothering me for a long time. And I'm going to redo it. I never do that, but I'm going to show you. I feel like it's a teaching moment to show you what I don't like about it, why it doesn't work for me, and how I improved upon it. So I do have that fixed page over here that I will show you later, but I'm going to be working on the back of it today with this week's video. Get this one out of here, and basically we'll use it to compare later and put this aside for now. Now, if you've been with me at all, you can hear it in my voice. I am still a little bit at the end of a cold. Feeling much, much better than I was, but still kind of sound a little rough. So thank you for your patience with that. Okay, so week 26, this is probably going to be the end of this particular journal, and I have a second one now thanks to my good friend Jackie Gerard up in Canada, who sent me her green leather planner for a trade so that I could have two matching ones. And I'm going to cover the second one like this with some fabric and whatnot. But I will be starting that next week on week 27 because we're at the halfway point of the year, right? 52 weeks. Okay, so I'm developing a little bit of a plan, and of course I'm going to document my week, which was all about just getting through this cold, which, you know, cold is no big deal, but something about a summer cold is pretty yucky. So I went to my phone. Of course, I had to make an effort to take these pictures throughout the week. You know, I was doing Dayquil and the neti pot and NyQuil and hot tea with honey and sucking on Vicks lozenges and moisturizing with Aquaphor, you know, just everything. So I decided for the first time in quite a while, I was going to do black and white photos because these photos were very colorful. The honey was a bright orangey yellow, and there's a lot of color in the tissue box there. And then, of course, these things, everything had color. So it was almost cheerful in a way with all that color. So I thought, well, what better way to portray, you know, kind of feeling not like yourself and kind of down and icky than to do black and white photos. So that's why I decided on that this time. So I already have them sized and predetermined according to my little photo mats here, which are cut out of like a blue pattern paper from Esther's The Book 7. I'll talk about more of that in a bit, but my background papers are from My Harmonious Hodgepodge, the border page in particular. And so if you can see all of this, it does have the red grid in the back, and then on the front are all the great borders. So I've used this strip here for this border, and then the red check kind of grid for my background. And also stamps. So this is 2147 Pocket Page Fillers 3, and we see a little like first aid kit here. I just wanted that plus. So I have die cut that 6 times out of red, and I'm going to use that as my hole reinforcers over here. But this is a great set, you know, especially if you've spent any time at the doctor or hospital. It's an unfortunate time, of course, but it's nice that we have something to still, you know, commemorate those even not so great times, right? And then I used stamp set CS354 Florence. Of course, I'll link everything below, but this one's very fun because it goes with that as well. It's all about either being in the hospital, feeling sick, under the weather, some days are hard, you know, there's all kinds of great things here. But I like Florence here. So this set actually has a matching die for the Florence stamp. So I'm going to use that as well. You'll see I have things kind of ready to go, but I did want to show you really quick a cute little project that I made. If you follow me on social media at all, you've already seen this. This is a new die from Angelica with Elizabeth Craft Designs. I think it's called the Elegant Box. And I made a little first aid kit to have in the car out of the little box. And this uses Esther's, of course, papers from the book 7. And then here's a lot of those dies and stamps from those sets I just showed you. So that's kind of a fun little project too. I did 5 of these already. I'll show you the 6th one because this little plus thing comes out of this particular die. Okay, so I saved the middle part. I'm using my little tweezer here. I'm going to turn it this way because I have to switch hands. And I found it was hard to find exactly where I was. Was I over the center of that hole in the page or was I not? So I thought, well, what if I pre-punch the holes with my Crop-A-Dile? So that's why I'm holding it with my tweezer and looking through the hole to get it pretty much in the center. Oh, that was the only one I didn't get very well in the center, but that's okay. I have 6 there ready to go. The edges are inked, and I want to get these on first because I want to make sure I don't overlap them with this paper. So let me do that real quick. Okay. Now you see I skipped those 2 holes because I'm kind of thinking that she's going to go here and may cover them up. And so maybe I don't have to use that one that I didn't punch very well. I'm just going to wait and see till the end if we need to put anything on those holes or not. Okay, so I put tape runner on the back of this, but I also like to put a little bit of liquid glue. And for me, I have to turn this just because it helps me keep it straighter. The liquid glue helps me kind of slide it into place. I'm going to do that the same with this piece here. It's coated with tape runner, but I'm just going to put a little liquid glue, especially on those outside edges where I can't get the tape runner to get out to. And then I'll do a little scribble through the middle. Okay, this should fit nicely, I think. Just. Okay, perfect. Okay. Right, so I don't want to just start slapping my photos down because I want to get all my elements kind of ready, and then that way I can move them around and see what's going to work. So I have Florence over here in my little mini Misty and a little piece of kind of off-white paper ready to go. Let's get some ink. I think I'm going to stamp her in the dark blue. I could stamp her in black, but I think it would look cool. That's what I stamped her on the box. I used a dark blue, and I think that looks kind of good. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm using, what is this? VersaFine Clair Twilight. It's a nice dark blue. It's one of my favorites. I seem to use it quite a lot. Okay. And I like the stamp platform because there's a lot of solids in this die. I can see I missed a little bit on her shoulder there. It's still inky, so give it a little harder press there. Looks good. Everything else looks good. Okay, ready to go into the die cutter. Okay, and just in case you want to see it done, I'm going to just lay this right over. And I am using my Empress Mini, and the mat that I cut onto here is magnetic, so you don't have to tape this down or anything. It's wonderful. I'll link to this as well, but check with your local scrapbook store. Maybe they carry the Empress or the Empress Mini by Anna Griffin. Let's see how we did here. Looks great. Okay. I'll ink her up and stuff. She looks cute. All right. If you're, a stickler for details like this, see how she's not, I didn't really die cut her perfectly. I'm going to blame my cold on that, but I'm going to go with my scissors and just kind of fix that up so it looks a little more even. No big deal. Not really necessary at all, but it's just me. I see it, so probably nobody else on earth would ever notice. Okay, and it just took a second. So, yeah, so this is key. So as far as like getting your layout decided upon, don't just start plopping things down. Get some units ready, things that you can move around and kind of eyeball how things are looking before you commit. So I'm thinking she might kind of go in the center there. I also have to have my week 26 numbers somewhere. And do I need to say I had a cold? Maybe not, but I grabbed a couple of dies from that set I showed you earlier. Not today, rest and recover, and under the weather. So I'm going to stamp those out and add them somehow. But I do have my little labels from my set, the layers. Oh, I always forget the name of it. Circles, banners, and ribbons. So there's a little banner, let's say, okay? And it's nested. It's got a double to it. So, and I think now that I see it, blue might have been the wrong choice for the bigger one on the outside, so I might switch that to red. I don't know. But the 26 I did do in red, so maybe it's okay. We'll see. So week 26 might go down there. She's, of course, going to get trimmed. And so I just need to stamp these out and cut them out and see how they look too, just so I have all the elements that I know I want. Okay, I think I'm going to stamp these in red. And I did switch out the not today for the phrase feeling sick. Oh, this red is really red. I might not like that. Let's see how it looks first before we judge. I mean, it's not bad. Okay, I didn't like the red so much. By the way, that was Strawberry Versifying Clair, and then I switched to Morning Mist, which is dreary and sad like our photos. So I feel like that's going to be a little better match with the feel. So I'm going to cut these out. I also feel like maybe I could get this one on here, because I like where she's positioned, and I only want to punch kind of one hole on her poor self, maybe right there, instead of up in her hat. I have cut out my little phrases there, and I'm thinking about what I want to mat them with. I think it's going to be that same red color. But I did change out this little die cut to this paper from my Harmonious Hodgepodge. So it has a little bit of a red polka dot instead of just a really plain background. So we'll save that one for another time. And I'm using Hickory Smoke Distress for inking because it's just a nice gray. It's not, you know, vintage photo-y color. I think it's kind of perfect for this. So I'm just going to ink up all my pieces just softly. Okay, I'm kind of playing with the elements. I did put red behind my little phrases there, and I think I've got what I like here. It's a very simple, clean layout this time, but you know, it kind of reflects how I'm feeling. So we're just going to keep it simple this week. So I'm going to get all this on here, trim her up, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got to looking at it, and I did add just a few things. The stamp set that I've been using also has this little stamp. What is that? Little cross thingy. So I stamped that on her chest, and then I also added a little journaling here with this little half ticket. So the page is done, and I'm happy with it. But before we close and say goodbye, we are going to do a little comparison, like I talked about at the beginning, to last week's layout page and why I didn't like it and how I changed it, which is on the other side of this. So let's talk about that right now. So to start off with, a lot of you might say, hey, that's a great page. I like it. What's wrong with it? I don't see anything wrong with it. Well, yes, and I don't encourage you to critique your own work terribly like I'm doing this time. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it. It just really bothered me, and I wanted this to be a really nice page. And for me, it just doesn't work. So here's why. First of all, when I look at it, I just get a bad feeling. Even though when I was doing it, I thought it was great. So that's just something you deal with sometimes. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just like, yeah, I don't like it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But so here it is. As I've looked at it closer, and when you see my improvement, you'll see a big difference. All of the photos, with the exception of this one, are on a turn of some sort. So right away, that does make it playful, yes, and it's about a comedian, so that's okay. But I think that's what's bothering me about it is my eye doesn't know where to look. It's kind of all over the place. So that's one. Two, I don't like how I had to cram in these letters. We're ready to laugh. Didn't like that. It's very top heavy with dark color. So also because I didn't put a journaling like tag or label, I wrote right on the paper. When I look at it from afar, I hardly see that as an element on my page, and so it makes everything look like it's super heavy toward the top of the page. Also, don't quite like how this ended up either. I don't know, clearly I had a lot of problems with it. And then the microphone up here is cute because it's, you know, about a comedian doing jokes on a microphone, but that made more sense to maybe put it down by the comedian and not by us waiting for the show. Okay, so let's look at how I improved. Okay, so here's my improved page to the right. I know there's a little bit of a glare, so I will try to move that around from time to time. But so I feel so much better about this one. So right away, do you notice? I got rid of all those white or light colored photo mats and I did darker ones. So now the focus is a little more on the photo subject matter rather than all those outlines of those photos. All the photos are now straight. Not that you can't turn one to the side if you want to make it playful, but for me, my eye just travels on down and it's orderly. It feels good. This is chaotic to me. So that's just me, maybe. I changed the shade of blue to a little bit darker one in the word laugh back here. I like it better. And then I also used that same blue on the photo mats here. So I double photo matted the comedian, so he had the dark wall with a little bit of an ivory break and then that blue. Okay, and then the 25 was just kind of down here by itself, all dark, so I moved that up here on a ticket. Ticket, 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 ticket. So the light colored elements travel down the page, very orderly to the eye. And the microphone makes much more sense down here by the comedian. When I had it all done, that's when I added ha ha ha. That was not the plan, but I felt like those were kind of open places that, you know, it wouldn't be too bad to put some kind of fun little filler. So I hope you agree with the changes. You'll have to let me know, oh, you know, did you like it better the way it was, or do you like the new version? And you might also say, well, I run into this problem a lot of times myself, but I don't know how to fix it. So how do we know how to fix it? I even have heard people say, I've done a layout and then just totally thrown it in the trash. I hated it. So I encourage you to not give up. If you don't know what to do, if you don't know why you like it, the best thing that you can do is look at layouts of people's that you do like and try to make a comparison. Like, what did they do that you like and what did you do that you don't like, and see if you can emulate and maybe change up what you've done. Maybe start right over like I did if you want to. The other thing that you can do is you can go to my weekly playlist from last year, 2023, where I did a planner page every single week, a video. And I gave constant tips, techniques, design ideas, you know, what to do, what not to do about balance and composition and color and everything. So there's just a plethora of inspiration and tips there for you as well. Okay, so this one is going in the trash. There's no need to keep it. I'm not sentimental about it at all. This one I love, so we're going to get it into the planner. And next week we will, well, I won't be here because I don't do a video on planner pages except once a month. But if you're in my Facebook group, you'll see week 26 will be starting in July. Here's my little dashboard page for July. So I'll be working on the back of this page next week, and we're going to move all of this into the new green planner, the second planner. Alrighty, so that is it for me today. I am feeling okay. I will probably be feeling better even by tomorrow. So thank you for those of you who have wished me well on Facebook and on Instagram. You know, it's just a cold. Just got to get through it. I'm not very good at being sick, so I'm not very patient. But I do appreciate all the nice wishes you guys have been sending my way. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with my voice, and I will see you next week in the next crafty video.